just AI news you can use for October. And so we started with OpenAI, the folks that made ChatGPT. They raised $6.6 billion, the most ever raised. And then Apple comes behind that and says, but it's not reasoning. Like, they're not getting closer to AGI because that's like the big race right now is who can create AGI, artificial general intelligence, or ASI, artificial super intelligence. And so the AI wars are heating up. And so I think that you should really pay attention to how the government kind of follows this, because also the governor of California vetoed the AI safety bill. And this is on like AI development. And a lot of folks in Silicon Valley thought that this would slow down AI development. And so this bill was vetoed, only then for the Biden administration to issue the first national security memoranda on AI. And so that is major. Like this is an entire document on how AI is a global national security risk and what its potential may or may not be. And so I challenge you to go and make it through that document. Use ChatGPT to help you read through it. And then we had a bunch of lawsuits that just were issued. So Rupert Murdoch's companies were suing Perplexity, um, saying that basically Perplexity, how it works, if you think Google right now, the advertisers and the search engines direct you directly to the traffic to like the New York Times. And what Perplexity does is now when I search, and now even OpenAI ChatGPT search, we'll get to that. But Perplexity is really the biggest competitor to Google. And so when I search on Perplexity, it summarizes all the articles for me. It just pulls it out and gives me the answers versus me having to click through. And of course, this has major implications on ad revenue for the media publications, but also just how their copyright and trademark and IP is being reproduced. And so that's a major case that I'm going to stay on top of, because I think that much of this doesn't exist around IP and how it's going to be legislated. We also had a very tragic story with character AI and a 14-year-old boy unaliving him, or a lawsuit for a mother filed against character AI, which is also heavily funded by Google. And we'll get to Google because they had their quarter 3 earnings report. But that was a very tragic story. And again, towards just how governance is going to be around AI companies and AI literacy and digital literacy and things of this sort. Because there is Section 230 and the Decency Act that covers this. Again, more thing about governance. We also had a bunch of new release that came out. So Claude, Anthropic's Claude, put out a amazing demo for computer use. And then they followed that up with, I think, announcing yesterday or even today, maybe, I'm not sure, that they have a desktop app, which now, if you're keeping score, the desktop apps for Claude is now released. The desktop app for Perplexity has now been released, and then ChatGPT desktop. So I'm running all three and surprisingly using Google a lot less. And we'll get to Google because they also had their Q3 earning call. And so when you think about just how Anthropic did computer use, and now these desktop apps are popping up. We're seeing competition in who can create the best desktop apps, which I love. I love being able to go on the desktop app instead of the search browser. And so I think that this is how the AI agents are going to look as applications on our computer. And Claude kind of demoed that, Anthropic demoed what that would look like. And then lastly, we of course had Google announce their earnings call, Q3 earnings call, and um, 25%. The biggest headline is that 25% of new code being generated is through AI assistance, AI generated. And so it's not very specific in terms of to what extent the AI is generating, because I think most people would say that AI isn't generating like new code, right? It's doing autocomplete. And so what that looks like, but I think that that's just probably a signal to investors to say, hey, AI is writing 25%, AI assisted code is writing 25% of our code, we need to continue to do R&D inside of artificial intelligence. We need to fundraise more money for artificial intelligence. And so I think that these developments are incredibly significant. And so I hope that, you take a moment to just document like some of this stuff and go back and review and check it out and just see the direction we are going with a lot of this. And happy Halloween for folks that are going out this evening, and be safe. Peace, y'all.